Hello and welcome to your first of all of the information that you're going to get as your new coach basics crash course. I'm super excited that you're watching this because whether it means that you're a brand new coach that just signed up or you're someone who maybe has been a discount coach for a little while and you're ready to start diving into building your business, either way, I'm super excited that you're here and wanting to learn. So I just want this video to be like your basic intro to the new coaching thing, this new opportunity that you've decided to jump on. And so I'm just going to dive right in so that I can keep it concise. The first thing that you want to know as a new coach is the 4 vital behaviors, okay? Because this is something that no matter what needs to be number 1 on your radar and needs to be something that you start doing consistently every day if you want to be successful in this business. So the very first vital behavior is that you need to be proof that the product works, okay? So, I mean, I don't think that I have to really tug on you to do this because I'm assuming that if you're here, it means that you love Beachbody's programs just as much as I do. And being proof of the product works is just that. So you're drinking your shake or you're using the performance line or whatever floats your boat and you're doing the programs, you're using it for your fitness so that you can kind of share authentically that you love the products and that they work, right? So you're kind of like a walk-in billboard for the company. So that's number 1, being proof the product works. Number 2 is inviting. So this is something that's scary for a lot of new coaches, but it doesn't have to be, it's never salesy, so you don't have to feel like you're, sending someone a sales pitch. Inviting is simply inviting people to the opportunity to change their life. So whenever I feel intimidated to invite someone to a challenge group or to the coaching opportunity, I always just remember that and think back to, first of all, I wouldn't be where I am right now if someone hadn't invited me. And if we don't invite people into this amazing opportunity, then they're just not going to know it's there, right? So it's sort of like our responsibility. Because if you're like me and you just absolutely bleed Beachbody blue and you just love the products and the programs and you love this opportunity that's been placed in front of you, then it feels sort of selfish to not share it with people, right? Because it's something that anyone can do. So just keep that in mind, that inviting doesn't have to be this scary sort of thing. Inviting just means that you're making the opportunity known to people, that they can join you or that you have something that can help them. The third one is recognizing. So something that I love about being a Beachbody coach is that I'm encouraged to recognize the success of people every single day because it's a vital behavior for us. So whether that means sending someone in my challenge group a message and just saying like, girl, you're killing it, I love your energy, love having you in the community, or if it's something more public where I'm recognizing someone on my Facebook with a photo, or if I'm, going into the team page and shouting out someone on the team for something, no matter what it is, recognizing the success of people is another vital behavior. So something that you should try to do every single day is at some point recognize someone for being awesome. And then the fourth one is personal development. So this is one that is extremely important. It's important no matter where you're at in your life, but it becomes even more important, I think, when you become a coach because you're sort of putting yourself out there, right? And you're putting yourself on the line. And so making sure that you have a super solid foundation within yourself of your confidence and, just feeling really solid in yourself is really important. So it's absolutely something that you need to be doing every day is personal development. And there are so many ways that you can engage in personal development. Sometimes I read a book. Sometimes I listen to podcasts. I have audiobooks. Sometimes it means like watching maybe a YouTube video or something. Maybe it means meditation. There's so many different ways that you can practice personal development every day. But it should be something that you do for at least 10 minutes every single day, is work on your brain, work on yourself, and make sure that, you know, you're doing personal development not just for the sake of doing it, but doing personal development that is actually helping you grow, because that's the point, right? So making sure that the personal development that you're choosing is an area in which you really feel like you need some more support or some more growth. So those are the 4 vital behaviors. Number 1, being proof the product works. Number 2, inviting. Number 3, recognizing. And number 4, personal development. So these are the 4 things that you want to be doing every single day as a coach, okay, to some capacity. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about what a power hour is and what your sort of daily activities should look like as a new coach. So a power hour is exactly what it sounds like. It was kind of discovered early on by a lot of coaches that having 1 hour a day that you can work this business in was really helpful for a lot of people who, you know, are maybe working full-time jobs, or people that are just trying to get started in this. Giving it a time frame of 1 hour is really, really tangible for people and something that everyone can find, whether you're waking up an hour earlier or staying up an hour later, or finding an hour in your day that you would normally be doing something unproductive and switching it over to being your business time. So what I usually tell new coaches is to dedicate an hour a day to this, and start doing that really consistently, because that's what I have always done. And there are still periods of time now where I can only find an hour in the day, and that's really all you need, which is amazing. And so you will have access to a checklist that you can use, but I just really quickly want to go over what sort of things you would want to aim to do in your power hour. So you want to be adding at least 3 new friends a day to your network. So what that looks like for me, sorry, is I always recommend coaches start with Facebook. I feel like it's a really great connection platform. And if you want to start with something like Instagram instead, that's totally fine. It would just look a little different than what I'm talking about, but I'm going to aim my focus at Facebook right now. So you want to be adding 3 new friends on Facebook. So what does that look like? That looks like going into for me, going into my suggested friends, snooping through that, you know, going on their profile. It's not just adding people for the sake of adding them. It's adding people that you think are going to bring value to your business. So going onto their profile, looking at whether you think maybe one day they'd make a great coach, or, you know, you think that they would make an awesome challenger. So you want to sort of look at people who you're going to have things in common with. You want to look at people who you're going to be able to message right away and say, hey girl, thanks for accepting my friend request. I noticed blank about you. Or we have, like, you know, all of our mutual friends are from high school. Like, we must have gone to the same high school but never really connected, or something like that. You want to be able to find a common thread with people. So add people every day that you are going to have an easy time connecting with. But you want to be starting to build up what we call your cold market, right? Because you have your warm market, which is people that you already have relationships with. And then eventually you're going to want to transition your business into your cold market and start expanding beyond your family and friends and acquaintances, right? So adding new friends every day is really important, and I say aim for 3 is a good one. You also want to be sending 3 messages just as like reconnections and sort of, I call them love notes or gratitudes. So you want to be sending 3 of those a day as well. So a really great place to start is you should be posting on your Facebook 3 to 5 times a day is a good rule of thumb when you're starting out, you know, morning, noon, and night if you want to break it up like that. Putting posts out there, and then, you know, you're going to have people reacting to them, people liking them. And so a really great place to start with these is to reach out to those people who have liked or commented on your posts and saying, hey, thank you so much for your support. It's not always easy, especially as a new coach, for me to put myself out there. So it really means a lot to me that you took the time to show me some love. That simple. And sending people love notes like that, sending people gratitude, reconnecting with people like, hey, it's been years since we talked. I would love to catch up and hear what's new with you. What are you up to these days? Super simple, right? But that's a reconnection. So you want to start building conversations, and you want to start getting relationships off the ground again. So you want to be doing about 3 of those a day. I also say that you want to send 3 invites a day. So maybe at the beginning you aren't running your own challenge groups, but you're running them with me or with a different coach or whatever. But you want to be inviting people to your challenge groups every day, and you want to be sending at least 3 invites. Now, at first I know that can seem intimidating, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that you can think of at least a few people who are in your warm market, people that you already have relationships with, that it wouldn't be weird for you to reach out and invite them to come do this thing with you, right? So at this point, you can say like, hey, maybe it's your best friend. You can say, hey girl, I just decided to do this thing, and it would be really, really cool if you wanted to do it with me. Would you be interested? Like, just simple as that. That's an invitation, right? So you can send invitations to anyone. And I would say do 3 a day very consistently. And, you know, eventually you're going to start kind of getting into the area of people who you haven't been speaking to regularly, that are sort of on the edge of being cold market. And that's where doing these reconnection and love note messages really, really comes in handy, because you can really easily transition those conversations into what you're up to now, right? Because anyone who is polite in any way, if you reach out to someone and say that you want to reconnect with them and that you want to hear about what's new in their life, they're going to ask you back, right? After they've said, you know, I'm doing this and blah, 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 and say, what about you? And that's an amazing opportunity for you to say, like, I actually just signed up to be a health and wellness coach online, and I know that this is kind of crazy, but would you be interested in joining me for the next accountability group that I'm running? Super simple, just easy transition so that you don't feel like gross and salesy ever. So that, you know, I'll just recap. Adding 3 new friends a day is really important. Sending 3 messages that are just aimed at building relationships, sending gratitude and love, and 3 invitations every day are things that you want to like very consistently start doing. Then we get sort of into, like I said, you want to be trying to post 3 to 5 times a day. You want to make sure there's just something I'll say. I'm going to put some social media training out there for you, but just right off the top, I'd say just start posting, because it's kind of an intimidating thing at first. And I know myself, I was worried about people judging me for using my social media all of a sudden and for putting things out there. But a few things that you want to keep in mind when you start posting is that you want to be kind of building curiosity with people. So you don't want to be a salesperson, and you don't want people to see you as someone that's trying to sell them something, right? So what you want to make sure that you're doing right off the get-go is just really authentically sharing you, and so that people can build trust with you and get to know you, right? So you don't want to be saying necessarily taking a sweaty selfie right after your workout and saying, I'm loving T25, it's the best program I've ever done, I feel really great. Because, you know, that's all fine and dandy, and like I'm sure people who love you would be really happy for you to read that, but it comes across as, you know, making sure that everyone knows that you have a product available, which you kind of don't want to do at this point. And it also doesn't really add much value to their life, right? So something that I say often and even think about myself is, if I were to have to pay for this post, would it be worth it, right? So before you post anything, just think about like, what if I had to pay $5 to put this post out there? Because that's one of the amazing things about using social media, is that it's free for us to market and advertise. But that doesn't really give us permission to just kind of put spammy stuff out there, right? So you want to be sharing authentically you. You want to be building curiosity. So you want people to ask questions. A good rule of thumb is that if they could Google it, you're doing it wrong, right? So you want to like kind of leave out the names of things, because if someone can Google it, that means that they can, first of all, if like, okay, for example, if you Google Shakeology, you're either going to get a bunch of posts about why it's not worth it or why it's a waste of money, or you're going to get a bunch of posts about from other coaches, like top coaches that have websites that they have a lot of traffic on, right? So you don't want to give people an excuse to read up on a bunch of negative reviews that are written by anonymous people that don't know what they're talking about, and B, you don't want to send them into the arms of another coach, right? Because you're trying to get people into your own network, right? So that's something to keep in mind is, am I putting anything in here that someone could Google and find all the answers to, or am I going to force them to come to me with the questions? That's what you want. You want people to have to come to you with their questions, because then the conversation gets rolling really naturally, right? And then it gets to the point where part of my power hour now is checking my online forms. So I'm going to make sure that you have some training on how to make sign-up application forms, just because that's a really easy way. You just put a link to it at the bottom of a post that's inviting publicly to your challenge group, and then people feel like there's sort of, they don't have to go through that pressure and the fear of messaging you. They can just kind of go to a form and fill it out. But that's part of my power hour now, is checking my forms to see if any new forms have been filled out. And then checking your online office is also an important thing that I do every day, because eventually, if you become Emerald, then you start getting leads, which means like free customers who have signed up without a coach, they get assigned to you and stuff. So the way that you check your online office is, you go to the Team Beachbody website, and then you just click the coach tab, right? Underneath the coach tab, you'll see the coach online office. So you go into your online office, and that's where you can see like where your volume is at and all that stuff. There's another tab in there that says My Business. So you go under there, and then you click My Orders, and then you go to Customer Orders. Okay, so that is how you get to see like a readout of anyone who has purchased anything or signed up for a free trial or anything like that. Anybody has signed up for anything under you as their coach, it'll show up there. So that's something else that I do every day at this point. And I started getting in the habit of it right away, even though there were no orders under there for the first month for me. So, you just have to be patient. You have to be really patient. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. You're not a salesperson. You're in this because you're passionate about helping people, and so you just have to give yourself a little bit of a grace period to adjust and get into these new habits and start sort of building relationships with people again. Because if you take the time to build relationships with people, then you're never going to feel like a gross salesperson, and you're never going to have to do anything that feels out of alignment for you. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there today. The 4 vital behaviors and sort of the gist of what you would aim to do in a day and what you would aim to do in a power hour. And then I'm going to put some resources for you in the team page for you to use, like a checklist and maybe even some scripts if you think that would be useful for you. I'll put that out there. And then just really quickly, one more thing. I want to talk about Success Club and personal volume. So you're going to see SC and PV a lot. And what that means, PV, personal volume, is your personal volume, so kind of like what you have purchased. So you'll notice that when you go on the shop part of the Team Beachbody website, everything now that you're a coach will have what PV it is. It'll have a number. And if you go into your online office, you'll see either a 0 or a number next to your personal volume. So in order for you to stay active as a coach, you need to have 50 PV. Okay, so Shakeology is 90. So if you're getting Shakeology every month, you have nothing to worry about. And there are lots of different ways that you can make combinations to make 50 if you don't want Shakeology for a month. But the reason why you want to keep your coach account active is that that's the only way you can make commission. So if you're not interested in making any commission, if you're not interested in hitting Success Club or anything like that for a month, it's okay if your personal volume dips down. But if you do want to make sure that you have the opportunity to make commission on any sales that happen, then you need to have at least 50 PV. And that's really easy to do, and it's it's part of the vital behaviors, right? Being proof the product works. So if you're not using any of the products, then to me, then you're being a salesperson because you're not sharing authentically something that you're using, right? You're just kind of trying to sell a product. So it all kind of works together in that you're able to earn commissions because of it, but you also sort of need it to be successful in the business. So that's personal volume, and that's the deal with that. And then SC stands for Success Club. You'll probably see that a lot too. Success Club is like a reward system that Beachbody does to reward you for your hard work. So you get 2 Success Club points every challenge pack you sell, and then you get 1 Success Club point for anyone who signs up for Home Direct of Shakeology. Okay, so that's how you can get Success Club points. It's from people purchasing challenge packs or Shakeology essentially. And then if you hit Success Club 5, oh my gosh, sorry. If you hit Success Club 5, that's the first kind of realm, and then there's a different prize every month. So they announce it at the beginning of every month. They'll send you a free prize. It's really cool. And then there's also Success Club 10, which sometimes it's the same prize for both, or sometimes there's kind of an even bigger prize for Success Club 10. But just to put it into perspective, you only need to help 2 people get set up with a challenge pack and 1 person on Shakeology to hit it, or you can get Success Club 6 if you get 3 people set up with a challenge pack. So super, super simple to do. You know, it's totally fine if that's not happening for you at the beginning of your business, but it's something that you want to aim for. It's a good goal to have, and it's a nice way to get rewarded for your hard work right off the get-go. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. I'll be putting more resources in. Thanks again for being here. Thank you for watching, and I'm so excited for you to get started on your journey.